everything along the project that doesn't need a stamp or professional engineer to inspect. When I ran the numbers with Brady for inspection, which came in at right around $170,000, I anticipate that it's going to be a lot less than that. Demand-wise, right now, the inspector will be able to put a lot of time and effort into this project. If other projects do come in, obviously there won't be as much of the inspector to go around to be able to cover some of that cost. So I anticipate the number to come in significantly lower than that, but that is a worst-case scenario if we do utilize Wallace for inspection. Also note that Minister Glazer Surveying Company, right around $70,000 to stake the project and survey it, which is fairly significant. 26-block corridor improvement, so lots of surveying and staking to do and recording. I did cross-reference both the pedestrian tunnel project, number 4 Force Main, and the downtown improvements, which is a fairly dated at this point as far as the downtown, but the per hourly charge is still really close. So it does fall into a reasonable charge for the project administration and management that they're going to provide. As you go through the supplemental, it gets into specifics on reporting, full service, working with other agencies on behalf of the city of Washougal, bid assistance, obviously, fairly turnkey for us. Not to get off topic, but we have discussed, real preliminarily, city engineering department, kind of where we go from here. And I haven't struck up those conversations with City Administrator Scott yet and Mayor Guard, but we will be in the near future. So from my perspective, the supplemental looks like it's in order at this point.
Questions?
Only one. The recommended action is when it becomes available through approval of consent agenda. Let's not do that on the consent agenda. Big enough project.
I think that's a standard one that Trey has on his.
Yeah, I think you actually ended up with 2 copies of the supplemental. So if you were under the assumption that it was 1.2 million instead of 600,000, we just cut that in half. I gave you an extra copy. I apologize for that. I noticed that today when I was going through the draft packet. So obviously we'll address that and remove consent from the recommended action. And again, if there's any questions or concerns as you move through this and review this, don't hesitate to email, call, whatever's most convenient for you.
Any questions for Trevor before we get him out of here? I have asked him in the next couple 3 weeks to have a presentation ready for council workshop in regards to E Street in general, where we are on the project, updated timelines, all that type of stuff. So hopefully as we get a little bit more known here in the next couple weeks, that'll be coming forward to you. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a little bit more information, if I can find it. I spoke with Brady today at Wallace Engineering, and project prospectus, local agency agreement, and local agency agreement supplemental, all deliverables for Department of Transportation to get right-of-way certification for E Street are required. We're hustling on closeout for right-of-way acquisition to get it submitted to Mike Stricker, who is the right-of-way specialist for Department of Transportation. So I'll be requesting of Mayor Guard that this gets on the agenda for Monday night. It wasn't part of your workshop packet. It is fairly routine. Obviously, there's no budget implications from this. It's the shifting of funds, identifying and confirming that the roundabout has been removed out of the project. So this is DOT's confirmation status update, but it's formalized in a spreadsheet, local agency supplemental agreement, as well as prospectus, so they have that for their file. Again, any questions on this, don't hesitate to contact me.
So that only has to do with the right-of-way acquisition just for the intersection of Washougal River Road and East Street? Or does that have to do with all the right-of-way acquisitions?
Take one of those. all of the acquisition. So you've actually got, we'll be passing these around, if you take one each and pass it around, Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand now. I thought that was a packet.
So you've got the East Street Road Diet description and update, and then there's also a pathway crosswalk lighting, the safe routes to school portion, and updating that. And then you look into the narrative specifically, it defines the prospectus for full description, and type of work from professional engineering stage to right of way to construction and the shifting of those funds as we move forward in moving the project to bid. And these have gone through the Department of Transportation draft stage, and they're, at this point, in support of the proposed agreements and prospectus.
And just, I hope this is not too terribly off topic, I think it's on topic. Regarding the right-of-way that we're obtaining along E Street, my understanding, if I remember correctly, is there's at least one house which is going to be partially, well, in the right-of-way. Is that right? Is there one house, at least one house resident on the south side of E Street that's within the right-of-way that we're going to be obtaining?
I'm not
structure.
aware of any structure
Okay, so it's
being
just very, very
impacted by
close
the.
then?
Yeah, so, and we can, again, I'm gonna have the update at the next workshop, last workshop in June. At that point, I'm hoping we're really close to right-of-way certification, but I can move through all of those and hit the strip maps as well, but it's my understanding that no structure is being impacted by the right-of-way and/or slope easements.
Okay.
A slope easement may come close to a house that's close to the existing right-of-way.
Yeah, I understand there's some that are pretty close.
I know it gets really tight, specifically the sidewalk portion from halfway down towards Washougal Lumber,
Yeah,
through
that's what I
Neater's,
was gonna ask.
Neater's Cafe and a few other parcels right there on the south side.
So we've worked it out where they're not gonna have to remove any structures at Washougal Lumber that we're gonna work in. Is it gonna narrow a bit there to go around their buildings, or how's that gonna work?
Yeah, specifically, one of the shops that they have that abuts E Street right-of-way, there's enough room to be able to get our 5-foot width, which is required by Transportation Improvement Board to be eligible for the funds for the sidewalk.
But probably won't be able to fit in any sort of planting strip or anything at that point.
No, it'll
will
be
we?
attached instead of detached there.
Okay.
And attached for the most part all along the south side to reduce right-of-way acquisition and slope easements.
Okay.
As you have the strip up against back of curb and then 5-foot wide sidewalk, you're getting out a ways before you actually transition with your slope issues with those houses to the south.
Mhm.
Some of those sit quite a bit below top of curb,
Mhm.
existing top of curb.
John?
Could you talk about, just real quick, if future development comes in on the south side of East Street, and we have attached sidewalks, correct? That's going to make it easier for let's say someone wants to come in and build a new building, if they wanted to build to the street, there on East Street, they'll be able to